Good evening, everybody. It is April 23rd. It's about 7:30 at night right now. I made this camp around probably 6:30, just letting you guys know that I've been here for about an hour and I've accomplished barely anything. So I understand why people stop so early before the sun goes down, and I'm hoping that I'll get better and faster over time. But yeah, I mean, I set up my tent stealth style, and we're not at a shelter. And it probably took 3 minutes, 4 minutes, not long to set up my tent. And then I spent 20 minutes setting up my bear bag. So, or at least getting my line up, which was, whew, I'm so glad nobody was watching. And now I understand why my sister, Sierra Mist, said that that was the entertainment for the night, because watching me attempt to get that bear line up into a tree was hilarious and embarrassing at the same time. Then I decided to cook my dinner. It's been drizzling on and off, and it took forever to boil my water. I don't know if it's because I didn't set the stove up like hot enough, but yeah, it took a while to boil the water. Then I put the water into my Knorr's rice, put it into, you can see it up against the tree, into that kind of just like foil packet so that the water can soak in and I don't have to actually like boil it in my can. But the problem was, and I knew it was gonna happen, I was hoping it wouldn't, but it did, it spilt in there. So I may have to recreate that just a little bit larger. That way it has more of a base, stable base. But yep, now I have to wash that out because there's now rice all up in there. Oh well. Anyway, so I'm waiting for it to soak in now. I am a bit cold. It's probably about, I don't know, 49, 50 degrees. And it's going to rain and it's going to be around that temperature. So, setting up for the night, closing up. I'll see you in the tent.
Good morning, everybody. It's about 6:51. So I've been in bed since about 8:30 last night. Slept restlessly. It was a bit chilly. It never fully rained. It's been drizzling on and off, and so I should really get up and get everything packed before the rain really begins. Oh, but it's chilly. It's so chilly. I put on my shorts and I'm probably going to start hiking with my puffy on. And then hopefully a warm up. My feet have been cold all night. Anyway, time to get up.
All right. Hi, everybody. Let's do the check-in. Well, it's been raining most of the day. My poncho worked out wonderfully. I hiked from about 1 mile beyond the shelter to Walnut Shelter, which was about 7.5 extra miles up, or I guess southbound. But the mountain climb was mostly up. And about half an hour before I was getting there, I was feeling a little low energy. I knew I had to eat. I hadn't eaten anything since breakfast. And I was like, whew, I hope the shelter's not facing the wind, because my hands were frozen from the rain and the wind. Well, turns out it was facing direct right into it. There are about 6 other thru hikers in there already, kind of in for the day. And I hung out with them. I made lunch, a hot lunch. I made my dinner for lunch. And I had a decision to make. I could either stay in that shelter with the rain and the wind. It was so cold. I just couldn't break the cold. Then I was like, or I could hike the 8.5 miles back to the original first shelter instead of camping someone randomly on the trail back northbound. And so that's what I'm doing. A 10-mile day turned into 16-ish miles. Whoops. That's a lot of miles. And the wind has kind of died down. I'm in a cloud right now, but the sun is attempting to come out. I can see it over there. So the wind actually blew my poncho pretty much, unsnapped all the snaps. And so I'm wearing it like a shawl right now. I think I looked rather damper. Anyway, good to see you all. Hopefully I'll make it to camp safe and sound. Feet probably tired. All right. Okay, so we're finally in the tent for the night. My feet were definitely crying by the end of today. I didn't realize how far I went until I just put it into Guthook and did some math. So my intention was to do like a 10-mile day today and then finish it up with tomorrow as like another 10-mile day. And when I reached the shelter, it was so cold, I knew I couldn't stay there without suffering possible hypothermia. So I decided that I was going to walk back to the first shelter that I passed. Don't ask me why, but I was like, yeah, that makes sense. It's gonna be raining, so let me just get back to another shelter, which was 10 miles back the way I came. So overall, I did 18.6 miles instead of my 10. The max I had done before was 12. So, yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm dead. I'm going to probably pass out real soon and wake up tomorrow to finish up the last 3 miles. Anyway, thanks for watching. Good morning, everybody. It's about 7:55. Probably only hiked about a quarter to half a mile. So I got a nice, relatively flat, slope downward trail right now. So I figured I'd give you the final updates on my last shakedown hike. The tent looks great. Slept wonderfully last night. I don't know if that's because I was exhausted or whether I just needed to get a little bit more comfortable in it. But it was perfect. It was a great temperature. Let's see. I'm still not into a routine. I wonder if it's because I know that, I only have 3 more miles and I'm gonna get to my car, then I'm gonna drive home and then I can do everything brush my hair. I haven't taken my hair out of its ponytail / braid since I put it in Friday afternoon. And there's no reason. I could have. I just didn't want to when I got to camp at night, and when I woke up in the morning, I wanted to get on the road. So I think I need to adjust my attitude that this is a long trek and it doesn't matter how fast or how early I get started or how early or late I finish my day. I have to take time to live, I guess would be the right word. I gotta still, brush the teeth, brush the hair, cook the dinner, hang the bear bag, set up the tent, set up the sleep system, so on and so forth. And then, repeat it all in the morning again. So that's that. I readjust the attitude. Hopefully that will happen when I'm out here for several weeks. Talking about that brings me to the food. Holy crap. I brought way too much food. I know everyone says that usually if a packer is going to, a hiker is going to pack something too much, food is one of them. Yep, I did it. The hiker hunger, which doesn't hit for 2 weeks in at least, is probably when the amount of food I brought makes sense. I've barely touched my food. I haven't been incredibly hungry
I haven't been incredibly thirsty. Again, readjust that attitude and force myself to take breaks and drink and eat and such, but I'm not hungry yet. So I completely skipped dinner last night because my lunch, which was dinner for lunch, was huge. My breakfasts have been tiny and my snacks in between meals have been almost non-existent. So of the quote unquote 4 days of food that I brought, plus 2 extra dinners and a snack, multiple snacks, I have maybe touched a fifth of it, maybe, if I'm lucky. Seriously, I've barely eaten any of the food I've been carrying out. So when I get ready to hike out in 2 weeks, I'm going to readjust my food to be more realistic until the hiker hunger sets in, because this is just a waste of weight that I'm carrying right now. I could probably sustain myself for 6 days with the amount of food I brought and the way I'm eating right now. The final wrap up, everybody, is how was my day yesterday and how am I feeling today? So yesterday, I ended up going 18.6 miles. I thought it was 16. It was not. I did math wrong. Even that math is not entirely guaranteed. It might have been a little bit more, but it was definitely 18.6 at the minimum. Whoops. That was not my intention. My intention was 16 at max. When my body was really yelling at me at 4 o'clock to take a break, I really should have listened to it. I did not. So when I got to camp at 6:30, I got into my sleeping bag. At 7 o'clock, I was out. I passed out. My feet were a little sore. My right knee was a little achy. So I was like, okay, I'll just put on the brace tomorrow. I could feel my shoulders were a little tired, but nothing terrible. Anyway, woke up this morning, put on my shoes, and my feet were like, ugh. But now that I'm walking, they feel fine. They feel pretty decent actually right now. My knee, it doesn't seem to be like underneath my knee. Like when I was a runner, it would be underneath my knee and I would wear the patella strap to try and give it a little extra support. This seems like I bruised my kneecap. So it's quite possible that actually the pain that I'm feeling in my knee is more of I knelt on something that I shouldn't have, or maybe it is an overuse injury, but it just happens to be right underneath the kneecap. Anyway, so I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm going to rest and compress it and ice it and elevate it when I get home. Left knee feels fine, which is great because it was the left knee that was having issues before. My shoulder blades have been decent, which is good because the last hike I did before this, it was kind of setting something off. So that's been pretty decent. And yeah, when I put my backpack on, my hips could feel the weight. They were like, ooh, ooh. But again, once I started hiking, that's completely gone already. So overall, feeling pretty good. Relatively slow morning. I know I only have 3 miles to go. So that's it. I'll get home. I'll dry out my tent because it rained last night. Wash my clothes because I already can smell myself. It's only been less than 2 days because I came out here Friday afternoon. I'm gone by Sunday morning. But I can already smell myself a little bit. It's not terrible, obviously, but it's growing. It's growing. And do one final check and that'll be it. Anyway, thanks for listening. And I'll see you on the trail.